Hello and welcome to the next video in the series. In this one we are going to set up social OAuth2 authentication with Google so that our users can very conveniently log into the app by just clicking on a button. This took a lot longer than I anticipated, and of course I fumbled with the mic and audio again. I'm gonna make a very condensed version, which is just a voiceover cut over most of the material. First, you can see that I'm just reviewing the current condition of the cluster and making sure that everything is running from the application point of view. So we have the database, application, backend, frontend, everything. And after that, I was thinking a little bit what to do next, and finally decided that we will start by implementing the social authentication system. Next, we just fire up PyCharm, which is my favorite editor so far, and we will set it up a little bit to use different console types. I usually put Cloud in the first one, then we might have something for npm commands, for Git, and so on. And after that, we will continue with setting up the Google Cloud Console. So basically, why do we need to do that is that, of course, we'll use Google APIs for authentication. And what we need to do is we have to create a new project in the Google Cloud, which is free actually. And also you can use the authentication for a particular number of logins per month for free. I think it's in the thousands, so it should be plenty for this kind of setup and demo. After creating that project, then you need to create web client credentials, which will give you the Google identifier, client identifier, and secret key for the app, with which we can actually perform OAuth2 authentication. Finally, we have to register certain URLs of our application, which we do both for the actual domain where the application is deployed and also for the local host development, where one important thing is to keep in mind that you should put exactly what you're using for development. For instance, you could put localhost or 127.0.0.1 and it makes a difference. It has to be exactly what you're going to use. Usually it will be just the local host at the corresponding port. Now you can see that we enter the actual URLs. So we have the front end and the callback URL, which are different. You'll notice in our case, if it was a more monolithic application, it could be the same. And like I mentioned before, for the local URLs, you have to be careful. So while reviewing the video, I noticed quite a lot of work being done between setting up the actual Google credentials, the URLs, the web client IDs, and so on. It was mostly concerned with creating a local Docker compose for adding the database so that we can actually test the authentication on our development setup. Also adding secrets to the Kubernetes infrastructure repository so that the application on the cluster can load them from secure storage. And like I said, a lot of setting up that leads to the actual final test. Interestingly enough, we click on our account and it works, which is quite surprising. It never works from the first time, so I'm really quite happy here.